You're watching WILX TV, Onondaga, Lansing, Jackson. From your breaking news and weather authority, this is News 10 at 11.
How anybody could allow a little legal glitch to release a sociopath, a narcissistic, pathological, lying predator, rapist, who had no concern.
That's Victoria Valentino reacting to Bill Cosby's release from prison today. She's one of the 60 women who accused the legendary comedian of rape.
He was convicted in 2018 on 3 felony counts for drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea Constand in 2004. Today, Pennsylvania's Supreme Court threw out Cosby's 10-year sentence after he served 3 years behind bars. Andrea Constand reacting to that news tonight, saying it's not only disappointing, but discouraging for those seeking justice for sexual assault.
Bill Cosby himself tonight fighting back by calling into a radio show. Listen.
It's for all the people who have been imprisoned wrongfully, regardless of race, color, or creed. Because I met them in there.
The mother of an Olympic gold medalist who survived the sexual abuse of Dr. Larry Nassar speaking out tonight about Bill Cosby's release.
Jordan Weber's mother, Rita, is particularly concerned about the laws which allowed it to happen.
News 10's Jace Harper joining us now in studio tonight with that part of our coverage. Jace?
Yeah, David and Ann, I think it's safe to say the news came as a shock to everyone. However, Weber hopes it doesn't discourage survivors from coming forward.
The hardest thing I've ever had to do is process that I'm a victim of Larry Nassar.
3 years ago, local gymnastics Olympian and survivor Jordan Weber came forward about her experience of being sexually assaulted by Dr. Larry Nassar. Today, her mother Rita reacts to the decision to overturn the ruling against Bill Cosby.
It makes me sad to think that all of the accusers or the survivors of his pretty heinous behavior, are going to feel like what they did, which is really, really brave, maybe didn't make the impact or the difference that it should have.
Weber believes in order for justice to prevail, something has to be done about the laws which are meant to protect the victims.
We have to be able to create a legal system that everybody can trust and that there's not going to be any red tape or technicalities that make it so that it's not going to do what it's intended to do.
Now, Weber says even though it feels like the Me Too movement takes 2 steps forward and 1 step back, it's important to keep going. In the studio, Jace Harper, News 10.
All right, Jace, thank you. We talked to a Lansing attorney who specializes in sexual assault cases. Karen Truskowski said Cosby is free tonight because prosecutors used an old deposition from a civil case in his criminal case. And while she's not happy about Cosby's release, she agrees with the court's decision.
They essentially violated Mr. Cosby's Fifth Amendment right not to incriminate himself. So the court found that because of this misuse of this deposition, the court really didn't have any choice but to overturn his conviction.
In today's ruling, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court said Bill Cosby cannot be tried again over Constand's complaint. And we'll switch gears now to our forecast, a relief from this week's rain today.
Darren Rockwell's in the Weather Center tonight. Darren, how are we going to kick off the first day of July?
Well, not bad for us the first day of July, but it's going to be cool with temperatures topping out in the 70s. Now, today we made it to 84 in Lansing. 83 was the high in Jackson. Current temperatures, well, Lansing at 73, 71 degrees in Jackson. Skies are partly cloudy in our area. There are a couple of showers and storms northeast of Flint. As a matter of fact, we were seeing some lightning on the sky cam from MSU, and that storm that's northeast of Flint, those are drifting away from us. So for us tonight, plan on a partly cloudy night. It remains rather muggy. Temperatures tonight dropping back down into the mid-60s. We'll take a look at the rainfall total for the month and what to expect in July as far as rainfall coming up.
Just hours before tomorrow's deadline, Michigan lawmakers approve a new education budget aimed at leveling the playing field for all Michigan schools.
If signed into law, the $17.1 billion K-12 budget would eliminate a funding gap among districts.
The budget would also boost overall school funding by 10%. public school districts and charter schools will receive $8,700 per student. Now that's on top of another $1,093 per student from the federal rescue package.
It also expands state-funded preschool to 22,000 more 4-year-olds and adds $240 million to hire school nurses and counselors. The budget now goes to the governor's desk. She is expected to sign it. Today, after much anticipation, 12 of Michigan's unemployment officers reopened for in-person appointments. Now that includes the Lansing branch. Today, dozens of people waited to finally talk to someone about getting their claims fixed. Some people got the answers they've been waiting for. Others say it was a waste of time.
You said in there, I'm just in a queue. I got to wait for somebody to get back to me, which last time it took 8 weeks. So I'm hoping it don't take that long.
And it's very frustrating. What was the point of opening the office up if we're not going to get any farther than we already was on the phone?
The agency is taking appointments as early as a week in advance. They are made in 15-minute slots. Now you can still use the online and phone call options as well.
The unemployment office is not the only agency facing a big backlog. A new report says the IRS still has more than 35 million tax returns to process. That's a backlog 4 times bigger than at the end of the 2019 filing season. The challenges of working during the pandemic and last-minute changes by Congress to provide more relief to Americans created a big task for the IRS. The report also found a lack of working printers is also to blame for that huge backlog.
Also new tonight, help is coming for some people in Lansing who are in danger of being evicted from their homes. The city of Lansing is getting a $20,000 grant from the Cities for Financial Empowerment Fund. It will allow the city, the Cristo Rey Community Center, and the Capital Area Housing Partnership to offer rental assistance and financial counseling. City Council will get that grant at its meeting on July 12th.
New tonight out of Ionia County, the Morrison Lake public access has been closed by the DNR. That's because of high water. The on and off storms over the past week have caused water levels on the lake to rise significantly. Ionia County's emergency management coordinator says they've lifted the boards on the lake's dam to help some of that water flow out. But that move has knocked boats from their docks, is causing homeowners headaches for those living near the water.
I mean, basically it's flowing as fast as what he can let it flow. Unfortunately, it's not fast enough, and we're ending up with some water coming into wells in the back of people's yards and up to their houses on portions of the lake.
Ionia County is asking people in the area to stay patient. They're also asking boaters stay off of Morrison Lake. As the Red Cross tries to recruit more blood donors, the organization is trying to work more closely with the LGBTQ community.
For years, men who have sex with other men have not been able to donate as frequently as others. And while the deferral period is getting shorter, some say it's still discriminatory. News 10's Kylie Kahn has a look at what some members of the gay community want done.
Men used to have to wait a year after the last time they had sex with another man. In April of 2020, the Food and Drug Administration shortened that period to 3 months. The agency says that's enough time for a test to detect HIV.
The policy came out of fear during the HIV epidemic here in the United States, but since then there hasn't really been much. That wasn't really based on evidence, and there isn't much evidence anymore now, especially with the advent of a lot more screening processes.
The Red Cross says, quote, blood donation eligibility should not be determined by methods that are based upon sexual orientation. The agency is working to change the eligibility questions. Meanwhile, it's frustrating to those who want to help. Lance Wood has been donating blood since high school.
I have a rare blood type, so it's nice to know that it's helping. I think it's 3 people for every 1 pint of blood that you donate. So just knowing that it's helping someone and I'm able to do it, I figure why not.
But as a gay man, he can't donate all the time, which he believes is discriminatory.
You're disclosing information that other people don't have to disclose. So, anyone else doesn't have to disclose whether they've had sex recently, how many partners they've had, anything like that. So it's definitely pretty uncomfortable.
Wood and Yang say eliminating these questions would likely lead to more blood donations.
I see it all the time talking about there's a blood shortage, but then you kind of tell some of your people who may be willing to donate, well, no, you can't donate. So it's kind of contradictory almost.
According to the CDC, all blood that's donated is tested for HIV and other viruses. Reporting in Lansing, Kylie Kahn, News 10.
The Red Cross tests every blood donation for HIV. They also test for infections including hepatitis and syphilis. If any infection is detected, the blood will not be used on a patient.
A local church is showing its support for the LGBTQ community as we end Pride Month. Hazlitt Community Church put up this sign that says, "You are loved by God who created you as you are." It also wishes the community a happy Pride. Reverend Betsy Aho says it's her way of letting the gay and transgender community know they're welcome in the church.
The sign that we put up lets the whole community know that Hazlitt Community Church, United Church of Christ, is a welcoming place for all of God's children. We think it's especially important to get that message out about the LGBTQ community and let LGBTQ peoples know that they are welcome here, because we recognize that churches and houses of worship have not always been safe and welcoming and affirming.
Aho also saying the sign has received positive feedback online. Commenters on Reddit are happy to see a religious organization in the area be so welcoming.
People in Dearborn dealing with flooded basements now facing another big issue: power outages. What the city is doing to help them clean up while they remain in the dark. That's next.